Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here, and welcome to another episode of Adronis Top 3 Weekly. So I'm going to bring Adronis in, and he'll be sharing some information on the questions posed for this week. So let's go ahead and get started. Question number 1. What can be done to eliminate the resonance in being a targeted individual? Technological aggression and programming to body, mind, and spirit. As it relates to the first question, with targeted individuals. Now, again, these particular people are mainly targeted due to the importance of their own genetics, their own DNA in that way. Now, sometimes this can relate to the idea of government infiltration. Sometimes this can also relate to the idea of off-world intervention or intrusion in that particular way as well. There is certain genetic patterns that exist within the quote-unquote targeted individual that again are often seen as a resource. And that is why they are primarily targeted. Much of your governments and shall we say the higher, darker agendas are very much aware of this particular form of genetic, shall we say, stock contained within specific targeted individuals. Now, there can be times where other targeted individuals are indeed targeted due to the idea in that sense of their own abilities and are often kept on a particular form of quote-unquote blacklist. Now, we have discussed this further as it relates to the idea of intervention fleets. Now, if you feel that you are indeed a targeted individual, that you have been going through in that sense certain forms of monitoring that's been taking place, or again other particular forms of intrusions or directed energy weapons placed upon yourself in that particular way, we would recommend that you are connecting with the intervention fleets. So, this symbol. So again, forming 2/3 of a triangle, placing your other hand, again like a slash, across that triangle. Now, some of these particular forms of gadgets, these technological gizmos, may be quite difficult for one to try and, in that sense, alleviate through themselves. Now, sometimes they can be alleviated in regards to certain levels of, shall we say, meditative properties, such as what we have discussed as the golden light energy, or basically looking into golden heat, or in that sense what you would know as utilizing certain forms of symbols like the pentagram. But sometimes in that sense, depending upon the insistency of the group responsible, these particular things can at times be, shall we say, overshunned. So the whole key here in that sense is being able to call out to the intervention fleets. Secondly, in that sense, would be much more in the improvement of daily meditation and opening your energy as much as you can further and further. So, some of you may decide to use certain particular types of crystalline shields or light ray frequency shields, etc., and that may work to a certain degree. You may also call in your angels, you may call in your higher forms of loving aspects to bring you into certain states of protection. And again, as we've stated, those basically work as band-aids. They are not a long-term solution. So again, when you decide to work with the intervention fleets, then the intervention fleets can assist in helping to deactivate any particular forms of implants or any other particular forms of directed energy weapons that can be utilized based upon the targeted individual's status relating to the group that is tracking them. So again, there are various things, various matters, various protocols, and various technologies that are being utilized as it relates to these other groups. But again, really when we're looking at this all together, it's the idea that you are working on a deeper level, on a meditative level, and working to bring your energy into a largeness, we will say. When you're actually making your energy larger, when you're blossoming your energy, these particular individuals or agencies can't even utilize their technologies against you because your energy is so strong. Simply put, that the energies that you are able to blossom as you continue to do your inner work would basically create much of these particular devices to be deactivated, either through your own energy or through the connections of your own energy as well too. Your energy gets so large that, again, these particular agencies, groups, cannot even touch you. So that too, in that sense, is one of the recommendations we give, is that certainly if you decide to use your quote-unquote bandages as it relates to protection, yes, you can. If you wish to work together with the intervention fleets, yes, you can. But continue to develop yourself inwards. Work on yourself. Develop your innerness. Work with the chakra centers. Work with your energy body. Take good care of your physical body. Take good care of your mental body. Completely entrain, advance, and blossom your spiritual body. And the more that you are widening that course, the more that these particular facets of yourself will start to dissipate. Because the only reason these beings are within your field is because there is some type of karmic pattern that is causing them to intervene. And so many of you, in that sense, karmically, may have powerful genetic stock within your body, again, that is valuable to these particular races or even to these government agencies. But as we stated, the more that you're putting natural, loving, authentic power and blossoming of yourself together, meditating on a daily basis, working within your own inner being, harmonizing your emotional states, their particular attempt to bring any particular type of intrusion in your reality will minimalize even more. So that is what we would overall recommend as it represents the idea of targeted individuals. We thank you. Question number 2. A lot of people are struggling with financial troubles. What are good ways people can generally alleviate the trouble? We thank you once again for your question. As it relates to financial troubles or financial difficulties, the only reason why there's financial difficulties, again, all has to do with one's own perception of value and worth to themselves. You have to understand that all money represents on your planet is the idea of exchange based upon a certain context of value or values. Therefore, if you feel that through your own beliefs that you are applying minimal aspects of financial abundance to yourself, it's because you see yourself in so much lack, and that's preventing you from seeing what you feel you can truly offer as a state of value. Now, truly as spirit, you are beyond any particular aspect of value. But when you're looking at yourself in this physical reality, and as you express, as you cultivate, as you place action upon everything that you do, this equates on a, shall we say, abundance level, that which you know as value. So when you feel that you have little to no value of yourself, then you will notice that you will struggle tremendously. Because you are not behind yourself, you are not supporting yourself. You have no particular form of intention of broadening your horizons as it relates to the value that you offer. You just think that you may be around and that everybody else is valuable, but you're not. The idea of one feeling worthless is based upon their own belief systems. They have bought into what they have been influenced by throughout the course of their life. And it is through that influence throughout the course of their life where they feel that they do not amount to anything. But that is nothing more than the state of a belief. And so when you are struggling financially, you don't see yourself in great loving and valuable abundance. You see yourself in a great lacking abundance. And again, this all goes back into the traumas: rejection, abandonment, abuse. And it really affects the idea of one's own core value impression upon themselves. So what we would suggest is that you're taking time, just as we talked about in the previous question, to blossom yourself, to work within, to develop yourself, to truly see where your value is, because only you can discover it. Nobody else is going to make you feel valuable. You have to make the decision in saying that, oh, well, I am valuable, regardless about how you arrived at it. You're the one that's making that happen. You're the one that's bringing value into your life. So you have to see exactly how deeply you can go within yourself to give yourself that state of appointed value. Again, some people will come to us and saying, "Oh, Adronis, I have all of these dreams, I have all these visions of me making a great deal of money because I'm doing this work that really excites me, but I don't know where to begin. I don't know how to get started." It's because you are not putting your full intention, concentration, and commitment to the aspect of that value that you see yourself. You're too distracted with other things. You're distracted with the aspect of physical reality. You're distracted because you feel burdened, because other people may have labeled you as something, and you bought into it hook, line, and sinker. And so because you feel that you need to win other people over, you need to win their trust, and you feel you have to do all these things for these other people that you may not even know, you therefore stagnate yourself because you are the one that is tainting your own value. Your abundance becomes lack rather than the idea of true loving value. So this is what you need to discover. When you're having financial difficulty, it's because you're not able to open yourself up, see what you're capable of, and allowing that course to evolve. So there may be a person in that sense who does see some particular form of value with them. They start walking a course, their financial abundance starts to improve, and all of a sudden it starts to wane down. And now they go back into that state of stagnancy again and saying, "Oh, I'm a failure, I'm hopeless, I can't do this, I can't do that," etc. It's not to say that any of those things are the reason that you're having a problem with an abundance. It's the idea that what you're actually doing is that you're not evolving yourself to allow this to change into something better. You only want to stick together with what's familiar. You only want to play the game with what you feel you can recognize. But what your own higher self is trying to do is trying to step you over the mountain, so that you're not just here in the valley and making a little bit of decent financial abundance or other levels of abundance of exchange. It's telling you, all right, now it's time for an uphill climb because you're going to go through some change. Oh, but I don't want to do that. I just want to stay down here in the valley and make a decent living, etc. But as long as you're staying down the valley, you're trying to bring to life what is now dying. And that aspect of your old work is on life support, and it is eventually going to collapse. So if you are not evolving with the times, if you're not evolving with the events that you know represent your financial abundance, then you'll go right back into that state of stagnancy, no more different than how you are feeling relating to the idea of lack of self-value. So you want to make sure that you're flowing with the energies that represent your abundance on a highly loving, valuable level. And if you don't, then you're going to hit these enormous speed bumps. And your old aspect of abundance relating to money and value and service are going to be on life support, and then they are going to pass away. So that's how this works. It's only showing you a stepping stone to helping you move into a higher elevation of being, so that you can therefore start to move into that higher elevation and realize that abundance can now come to you in many different ways, not just the idea of money. You may see many opportunities that may come your way that will represent value to you, and money's not the only one. So that again is what your higher self is attempting to share with you. This is why we say over and over and over again, work with your higher self through the means of your heart, through decision, not choice. And more that you are working with decision, you will now start to elevate yourself because you're not trying to control everything and trying to place yourself in all of these concealing walls of prisons that are preventing you from where you want to go. Choice stagnates you. It is decision. It is living through the heart. It is listening to your intuition. It is following that feeling and letting the heart make the decision, and you're just letting your legs walk without trying to put any particular type of control onto this. Let go of control. Listen to your heart. Work with your empathy. Work with your intuition. Follow your true nature. And as you do this, you're not concerned about anything anymore, because it's no longer a reality based upon survival and choice. It's now a reality based upon pure life, pure heart connection, pure heart-centeredness, and following your natural path divinely. All right? That's what we can share as it relates to this question. We thank you. Can Adronis speak about the angelic realm, the origin and roles of angels, archangels, and guardian angels? We thank you for this question. As it relates to angels, the correspondence that angels give to you will always be in some particular type of fluctuation variable, which means that each of you will give certain definitions to whatever you determine an angel is, because there are some of you that do not even believe angels exist. Some of you may favor extraterrestrials. Some of you may favor higher dimensional concepts, etc. You may not even favor the idea of angels. Do they exist? Everything exists. Everything that you work with through creation exists. But the whole idea in regards to the angelic kingdoms, as it were, is that they represent what you would know as evolved souls. These evolved souls are messengers from the higher kingdoms. Yes, from the higher realms. Now, basically, if you're looking at divine source, God intelligence, and then branching it down, you have what you would know as the archangels. And the archangels are like the fingers of God. They would represent jurisdiction. They hold certain degrees of balances based upon archetypes, like when you're looking at your archangels, Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Metatron, etc. All of these different forms of archangels represent, again, facets as it pertains to the fingers of God. A finger of God. So what they are doing is they are helping to administrate. They help to manage. They represent the archetypes of man. And then, of course, you have what you would know as guardian angels. And these are appointed angels that are working together with your soul. They, too, represent messengers. They, too, represent protectors. They, too, represent nurturers. So they are the ones that you meet when you transition from your physical body to retrieve you. Those are what you would know as your guardian angels. The guardian angel of spirit, the guardian angel of mind. And they come forward and they collect you when you therefore transition past the physical body. So angels, in that sense, on that particular loose term, again represent these messengers. They are coming through these higher levels of consciousness, these angelic kingdoms, as evolved souls that are helping you out. The guardian angels are appointed personally to your own soul and will work together with your own soul once there are transitional phases taking place and for you to be collected. But they guard your soul in the best way to be put. And then, of course, there are the archangels, what you would know in that sense as the higher archangelic kingdom, the fingers of God. So that would basically be a brief rundown as it pertains to the angelic kingdoms. Now, again, as we've stated, it all depends upon perspective. Some of you may see this in a very different way. Some of you may not prefer to look at them as angels at all. Just higher dimensional concepts, higher dimensional aspects, higher dimensional fragments of yourself. And that, of course, is appropriate. You can term it, label it, value it, align it in any particular shape, way, or form you wish. But that gives you a basic rundown in the, shall we say, workings from within as it relates to these angelic aspects of yourself. We thank you for this interaction. We will now conclude and return to the conduit. Goodbye for now.